Hello, I am Dr. Amitabh Banerjee. I am an epidemiologist. I was in the armed forces for 27 years. For over 2 decades, I was involved in field investigations of massive outbreaks, including waterborne diseases. At one time, more than 300 people getting sick due to water contamination. And I never saw uh, people having that rare side effect of Guillain Barre syndrome. I will be talking today about the mystery. I have been following the outbreak of Guillain Barre syndrome in Pune, India, and it's very, very mysterious. I will tell you the reasons why. This first case started in first week of January, and now just over a month, there are 211 cases of a very rare disease. Even now, the media is saying Guillain-Barre is a very rare. Neurologists are saying it's a very rare disease. But if it is a rare disease, why within a month, more than 200 cases, just a month and a little more than a month, 200 cases of a rare disease within a short period of time and clustering at a particular part of Pune also. It is not spread all over Pune, but about more than 70% cases or 80% cases are from among people who have taken water from particular sources in a 5 kilometer radius. So it's a 5 kilometer radius. So there is some clustering. It appears a common source outbreak, and what is being identified presently as the cause is Campylobacter jejuni. It's a bacteria. It is there. This is a pathogen which has been there with us for ages. But have we ever heard, are there any reported cases of so many Guillain-Barre syndrome? The incidence of Guillain-Barre, as in the literature, has been given as 1 in 1 lakh. Imagine 1 in 1 lakh. Pune population maybe 50 lakh or 30 plus the Pimpri-Chinchwad suburb of Pune, or the industrial town of Pune is 30 lakhs, another 50, 80 lakh. In a population of 80 lakh, 1 in 1 lakh, you expect 80 cases over 1 year. Here within a month or in a month, we have got more than 200 cases. It is not making any epidemiological sense. I am finding it very, very mysterious. We have to expand our investigation, I think. We should not only focus on pathogen or bacteria. Campylobacter has been reported to cause Guillain-Barre, but there wasn't such a massive outbreak, like 80 lakh people getting diarrhea. No, we didn't have beds. If suppose if you go by the hypothesis that the Campylobacter is the reason, to get 211 cases of Guillain-Barre syndrome, there should be an outbreak. There should have been an outbreak of Campylobacter jejuni overfilling the hospitals. You see, 1 in 1 lakh, you can imagine the whole Pune should have an outbreak of Campylobacter in thousands to generate 200 cases. I am being on a very conservative estimate. It may be, if you see, 1 in 1 lakh. So 1 lakh cases of Campylobacter diarrhea should have been there, and 1 Guillain-Barre. You are having here 200 cases of Guillain-Barre syndrome. Is it fitting? However, new strain or old strain or whatever strain, it doesn't make such a jump that it will cause, without diarrhea, will it cause Guillain-Barre? I mean, we don't have the answers. I think nobody has the answers. Then they have identified norovirus. Again, this norovirus is also an old virus. I mean, this 211 cases is not making epidemiological sense. Guillain-Barre syndrome is a reaction to an infection. It is a some sort of a cross reaction. There is a stimulus, some viral infection or respiratory infections or intestinal infection, and antibodies are produced by the body, and there may be some similarities of this infecting virus or pathogen with the nerve tissue. It attacks the nerves. So there is a ascending paralysis. There are tingling in the nerves, some weakness in the lower limbs, weakness in muscle. It ascends up, and once it affects the respiratory muscles, and also people have to be put on ventilator. It can be life-threatening. In this outbreak, I think out of 211 cases, 146 have recovered and they have been discharged. So majority have been recovered. 16 are on ventilator at present, and there have been 11 deaths. And what is concerning is recently the deaths are couple of deaths in very young people. Latest death is in a 27-year-old youth and another in a 37-year-old man. So it's concerning. So my serious doubts from the picture, from the clustering in time, a short period of time, and in a particularly clustering in a particular region of Pune, which had, I think, from a well. I mean, the reports are also not very clear in the media. From what I could gather, there was a particular well which was supplying water to these areas, some nearby villages, some well, and majority of the cases are coming from that 5 kilometer radius. So it appears to be a common source contamination, firstly. And I have my doubts. You have to exclude other things. You cannot comfort yourself with Campylobacter because it is not fitting in the character of Campylobacter. You get diarrhea first, and after 2 weeks you get the Guillain Barre. There was no preceding massive outbreak of Campylobacter diarrhea. The hospital. Of course, another thing which can be a possibility is in this Pune had a very heavy case loads of all three arboviral diseases in last year. That is dengue, Zika, and chikungunya also. And among these three, Zika is known to cause Guillain Barre. But I have to stretch it a little because the peak was almost 6 months back. So I don't know whether it can give rise to autoimmune disease beyond 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. If a large number of people might have been infected with Zika virus. That can be maybe, but I don't know ever. There have been massive outbreaks of Zika in Latin America, I think Brazil, Peru, and other. There have been Guillain Barre following that, but this is quite massive in Pune, what we are getting. And another thing is Zika. We had throughout Pune, we had Zika virus. It wasn't located in 5 kilometer radius where we are getting the Guillain Barre cases. So something has to be investigated within that 5 kilometers. We are missing something. I think we are missing something in that 5 kilometer radius because Zika was all over Pune. So we should have been getting Guillain Barre all over Pune. But here there is clustering, regional clustering, some neighboring villages which have been recently adopted by Pune Corporation and some areas in the industrial belt of Pimpri Chinchwad. So I have been interviewed once or twice by the media. So I had expressed my opinion that we should exclude the metal poisoning also, because there are reports of arsenic poisoning, mercury poisoning. There are published reports. Of course, isolated cases have been reported, but if there is a exposure to large number of people, so as I was saying, there are reports of arsenic contamination of groundwater, which can cause arsenic can cause also GIT upset, and it is reported in the literature. There are case series reported in literature that arsenic can cause Guillain Barre-like syndrome. Similarly, mercury can cause Guillain Barre-like syndrome. It is reported in the literature. So arsenic poisoning in India has been found in lot of groundwaters at different places, particularly Burdwan district, Kanpur district, in North India also. Of course, as on today, nothing has been reported. No incidence of arsenic poisoning has been reported. Arsenic contamination of water bodies have been reported from Maharashtra. But we don't know because arsenic comes from heavy use of pesticides, agriculture, because these are some of the villages which are reporting the cases of Guillain Barre. Heavy use of pesticides, then industrial waste, arsenic in groundwater. It goes down and it can contaminate tube wells and groundwaters, arsenic. It can cause and some mercury in waste have been found in rivers and other things and in the fish chain. So I am just thinking of, I am not saying that we can be very sure it is arsenic or we can be very sure it's mercury, but we should, because of the mysterious picture, we should explore all possibilities. So I am not aware of the chemical report, though I read somewhere that chemical report has been sent for sample of water has been sent for chemical analysis, but I could not see the report. I am not aware of the report. So this is something which is, and even people say it can be due to vaccine also. So again, it is not fitting in the picture. Vaccine, whole of Pune had taken vaccine. Then why only in particular belt? And mostly people are from the neighboring villages. Villages are not taking influenza vaccine, everything. Young people, very young people are also affected, children. So they are not taking the, but influenza vaccine is known to cause Guillain-Barre. So the group which are affected are, I don't think, of course, they should take history also. But again, the mapping should, or it may be interaction between many factors. So it is something which requires interdisciplinary and serious scientific investigations. Pune has got a lot of great institutions. We have got the National Chemical Lab, NCL, we have got ICER, we have got NIV. So there should be a proper investigation. So I just wanted to express my bafflement, I would say. I don't have the answers, and I can say without proper investigation, nobody has the answers. We are just speculating. Thank you. That's all I had to say today.